people of Cyprus have seen many a conquering army come and go. If this is the last moment the regimental flag flutters over their soil, it is a matter of indifference to them.
Hold your head up, Murray. Hold your head up. You get your hair cut, they wouldn't supposed to have it.
It is a matter of indifference to them.
Hold your head up, Murray. Hold your head up. You get your hair cut, they wouldn't supposed to have it.
Why should such a tough and experienced battalion be chosen for the axe, whilst other units are known to be short of recruits and battle experience? The answer is the Argylls must go because they are the junior Highland Regiment, a mere 175 years old. But there was one other choice before the Council of Highland Colonels, who had to make the initial decision. The possibility of amalgamation with another Highland Regiment, the Black Watch perhaps, or the Gordons.
There is no doubt at all that amalgamation would have saved the Argylls.
Colonel Tommy Lamb.
And I think it's fair to say the Ministry of Defence take a bit of a caning always over this type of thing, and they are blamed where blame isn't really in their court. I believe that if we, in the Council of Highland Colonels, had decided that two regiments would amalgamate, then this would have been welcomed in the ministry, and this was how it would have been done.
There are no shotgun marriages in amalgamations. Both sides have got to agree.
General Freddie Graham.
Now, remembering that juniority was the criterion, why should, if we were likely to go, why should any other regiment wish to amalgamate with us when they thought they were probably sitting pretty?
Juniority,
General Macmillan.
in the first place, is quite wrong because it takes no account of efficiency or record or anything of that kind at all. And in business, I think this wouldn't be tolerated as a way to reduce one's staff, or just because a chap is the last joined, he might be the most brilliant person in the whole outfit.
But it is very difficult to see an alternative. And Mr. Boyden did speak in the House in July this year, and as he so rightly said, you cannot really run a league table on the valor of a regiment. You can't really say, looking through history, that one regiment is more efficient than the other. You cannot really go on recruiting figures, because they're very variable year by year.
If you haven't got the guts to take a decision, like deciding whether one regiment is better than another, then you shouldn't be in charge of defence matters.
Colin Mitchell.
Juniority, anyway, is a ridiculous term when you're talking about regiments which were formed in the 17th century. I have got an extremely good historical argument, which I know a lot of you have followed before, and that is that the origins of the Argylls and Highlanders, in fact, are 50 years earlier than the senior Highland Regiment. The Earl of Argyll's regiment was formed in 1689. And in fact it was a company of the Earl of Argyll's regiment that carried out that famous massacre of Glencoe.
Glencoe. One bitter February in 1692, a detachment of the Earl of Argyll's militia suddenly set upon their hosts, the MacDonalds. The old Chief McKeon was shot dead in his nightshirt. His wife was stripped naked and pushed out into the blizzard. Altogether, 38 men, women, and children were bareheaded in their beds or died outside to be shot. Some were burned alive in their cottages. The blood that was shed that day has never been forgotten in the Highlands. The Campbells of Argyll had reason enough to avenge themselves on the MacDonalds. They had suffered many bloody raids by the men of Glencoe. But this had been different. This time the Earl of Argyll's men were acting as instruments of the English crown. Twice in the next 50 years the Highlands rose against the House of Hanover, and each time the Campbells fought on the English side. The end came here on Culloden Moor, the last great battle ever fought on British soil. The Highland cause never recovered from the bloody rout of Culloden. A line of powerful forts was developed right across the country. Fort William, Fort Augustus, and Fort George dominating the Moray Firth. To the south of it, the Argyll Campbells became the most powerful, and by some the most hated clan in Scotland. It was a bitter time. The kilt was outlawed, and the new breed of landowners quickly discovered that sheep were more profitable than people. Thousands emigrated, and for the young men who stayed, there was often only one other choice. The British Army was looking for new recruits. It has been looking for them ever since.
The cry come ringing down the glen. Oh, Denny, mind the stand, pack your rifle in your hand. The Argylls are moving again.
What better way to harness all that warlike spirit than by turning the Highlands into a reservoir of blood to serve the English crown? The loyal Argylls were entrusted with the task of raising one of the new regiments, and ever since, the Western Highlands have been their traditional recruiting area.